I am Dr. T.P. Shashikumar, retired space scientist. We have been discussing the subject geography for UPSC exam towards civil service prelims specifically. We have seen different aspects of the earth. The physical earth, the formation, evolution from the universe to the earth, the nature that created the earth in its shape, from interior earth to the exothermic activity like weather, climate, long-term aspects of shifting of geophysical plates, the continental movement, etc. They are all around the earth. Now we are moving towards geography, which is close to the world. When we say earth and world, it means two different concepts. Earth is the nature, world is what is created by human. Therefore there are two aspects. One is the normal geography of the earth. Second one is the world geography, in which the concept of human being comes. So we are going to discuss in brief about human geography. So what are the questions which comes into mind when we discuss about human geography? Where are these things located? Where we have to look for human geography? Why are they important? How are these places related to each other, related to other concepts, subjects? How are places connected geographically? How are humans affected by these location? So geo means earth, graph means write or map it. So human geography means map the human on the earth. So in this, basically when human comes, there is a concept of cultural geography, because human beings are more on creating, organizing, differentiating themselves, putting them together, living them together, create a pattern of life, and that becomes a culture. So when we talk about the culture, we have to talk about the east, west, north, south, Asian culture, American culture, African culture, etc., etc. So again we are going to name the places, understand the concept of different place and its influence on human development. So evolution of people which are influenced by the whole physical geography. So geomorphology, climatology, hydrology, biogeography or ecology or geology, everything has got some relation to the human geography. But as a subject, human geography, when we study, we have to talk about the population geography, that can be called as a population geography, which is called a demography. And when people gather together, they have the concept of the politics, ruling, kingdom, political science, how it is done today and how it was earlier. So we have a political geography in concept. From the beginning to the today's, how evolution happened in terms of a human being, the man evolution, the anthropology subject, how people interact with the system interact with the people to people, called sociology. What is created in the history. So when the subject history itself becomes a small portion of cultural geography, if you want to call it. So the cultural geography part is the major component in the human geography. And then when people interact each other, not like animal. Animal have got a common behavior. The human behavior keeps shifting because they are more social, more sophisticated, more artificial. Therefore, we have got the behavioral concept of geography, the behavioral geography, in which we get the psychology, economics, because the behavior depends on the culture, economy, situation, where, when, how, what, who, etc. So the behavioral pattern is very, very important. The behavioral geography has to be studied. Economic geography by itself, the regional economy, the economy of because of the natural resources, because of the development patterns which they have, how it is developed, all that have to be understood in the economic geography part. And social geography is the sociology, the language, religious study, meeting together, putting together, getting association, disassociation, civil war, and all such problems will come as part of the social geography. The urban geography is one major portion which we have to study today. As we started with the population geography, the settlement concept, the science of planning and non-planning, and the problems related to that, and all such portion has to be studied. The urban studies, urban social science, and the planning is one of the major important study which comes as the urban geography. So when we talk about the human geography, the historical aspect has to be studied, the demography and the population geography, how the evolution happened, up to how the environmental effect because of this. So we have studied little bit about the environment. Now how the human geography influences the environment is also a big study. The globalization concept, what happened because of globalization, how globalization happened due to the communication and the transportation. Globalization came because of two aspects. One is communication and the transportation. What are the major role played by the transportation, like road, rail, and huge distance covered by aircrafts, the air, and on the transportation of goods and etc., the sea transportation. All these have to be understood, the ships. The development of transportation and communication is one great impact created in the human geography. So the issues are also there because of this, on the environmental pattern, the health issues, the security aspect. So when we talk about the speed in which people can move from one place to another place, it also creates health hazard, and also it has got terror related, security related such aspects, including war. So the geographic thought has got major components, so the 5 components. One is location, place, region, movement, and human environment. So all these aspects which we discussed today, how is it related to the location, place, region, and movement from these places, and the human environment, the relative and absolute locations, and the site and the situations, the place, the feeling of being in a place, the homesickness, or maybe the homestay feeling which they have, most of them, the perception of the places based on the altitude, valley, mountains, and the culture because of that, and the food patterns which they have, the religious practices which people have, the migrants from one religion to another religion, the migrants of people from one place to another place, how the religious implications based on that. Okay, the occupancy of people at different places, how the movement happened for a long time, the accessibility, the connectivity, the distances, the spatial part of it. More than that, how the decay happened because of this settlement, and how people have got the utility part of places, how they understood the beaches, how they understood the mountains, how they understood the tourism. People are eager to see places because of its geographical beauty. Therefore, people move from one place to another place. Therefore, the connectivity. And though they move from one place to another place, they want to get connected to the place where the home state of those people. So how the telecommunication and the TV and getting resources for living is also a big job, like a street, the water connection, pipelines, electricity, living accommodation, construction, all that is a big things, settlement, which has to be understood in the geography. So human geography is a huge subject in which a lot of things have to be understood. How culture gets formed, how the culture becomes complex, the culture becomes diffusive, the problems because of that, the frictions because of that. And though people are huge social human being where have like to interact, the interaction also could cause frictions among the people.